general questions, and we have some movie related questions. So
Sweet.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
we're
let
live now. You can go ahead and let people know that we're live.
hey everyone, we're live, and I'm gonna let Instagram know we're live. I just need I'll give the YouTube link this time.
The YouTube link.
The YouTube link.
YouTube or Twitch. I just do our link tree one so that they can choose and say like
Oh, that's a
YouTube
good
and Twitch.
idea. That's so
Live on
smart.
YouTube
So
and
smart.
Twitch.
Hi, Pessimisty, you're here. I thought you were gonna be unavailable tonight, so I hope everything's going good.
It is so hot in here. Ugh.
In your little Harry Potter cellar that you live in?
Yeah. It's
Well,
not
that
like
you
it's hot.
record
It's
in.
like it's like muggy though. I don't know how to explain it because it feels cooler in here than it does in the rest of my house. I'm also like really worked up right now. So I'm like like a little crazy.
I was really
Um
worked up earlier because Letterbox was down for like 2 minutes and I had
I saw that. I saw your
a
bit of
that
a
was real. I'm not
freak
it
out.
sounds like I'm over please. I can't handle it. And I'm not even posting a review. I'm just logging that I've seen it and rest in peace, Emma. I'm like the wicked witch. I'm melting. I can't record what film I just watched. It's
Oh no.
awful. What a world. What a world. Mm.
All right.
So, guys,
Hello
we're
from
just waiting.
Florida.
Cindy Prescott. Hey, glad you're here.
I'm
It's
glad you.
computer
Oh yeah, your
day.
computer wasn't working, was it? Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. I'm just letting Instagram know we're live. Did I what am I doing? Oh yes, my link tree.
And then when you name the link, just say YouTube and Twitch. Live on Twitch and YouTube or something like that, so that they know that they can go to either link on the link tree.
I wish you were my boss.
RIP computer. What?
I wish you were my boss because
Why? I am a horrible
because
boss. Like,
you got to be better. Not that my bosses are bad, but not great at communicating. And then if I ask a question, sometimes they'll say, "I thought it was obvious." I'm like, God, bam.
I
That's what
yeah,
Germanic
I'm
people.
I'm really good at communicating directly to people, but I suck with patience and then managing, like remembering that they exist still and I'm supposed to do like things for them. I forget that. Like a lot of the people that work for me are very autonomous and work from home. So I'm like, oh yeah, I got to check in on them.
I like being forgotten. I like that. And hello, Culinary Geek Roy, the clown icon, Optimisty. Oh my goodness. I'm just letting Instagram know, which I think pretty much our main
Welcome.
crew is here. But okay. So excuse it's embarrassing that I'm recording here and other people see me doing it. I just don't okay. I'm not used to the attention. I just
You're not used to the attention still?
maybe I am. Okay. Justine and I are live on YouTube
Everybody
and
watch Emma.
Twitch.
She's
Click
filming.
the link. Justine's already in my ear. She's already in my ear. Click the link and you can pick if you want to watch us live on YouTube or on Twitch. We have our questions that I received, and you can ask a question live if you want to. Cool.
Totes. Totes my goats.
They can't hear you, honey, and I know you know that, but that would have been a cute touch. Okay.
I like that you just hear me actually, and then everybody that was watching you with
It's like,
me
what's wrong with
could hear
her? Why
me.
is she like looking at? Are you there, God? I don't know. I'm agnostic, so I don't know.
My hair
Although I
went a
did
little
start
frizzy.
receiving some Jesus-y stuff just after our last live because I mentioned Jesus coming to my dinner party.
Oh, and they were listening.
Oh, whatever algorithm was listening. Nope. If any, I pity the person if there's a person actually listening to me. Oh my, Snorfest. Oh my God.
They're probably wondering if I need to be more medicated if they're listening to me. Like, girl. Or they think I would make great reality television at this point with the
I
week
would
I've had.
not. You've had quite the week. I've had a boring week, which is not a bad thing for me. I like being boring.
Who knew my life would be so interesting this week?
Oh, life is a
But great,
surprise.
it's a good week.
You're
I'm
heading in a
excited.
great direction. I'm excited for you too.
Wednesday is going to be so nice. It's going to be like 80 degrees here, and I'm just going to be on the water all day, all
That
day.
sounds
I
fantastic.
already like, I'm going to tell my boss and be like, hey, look, I worked this weekend really, really hard. So Wednesday, I'm just going to attend the meetings that I'm scheduled for, and I might be on my paddleboard when I do.
As long as you're
Perhaps.
there, you're there.
Perhaps. I'll still be available. I'll answer questions. I'll hear you. It's not like the first time I've taken meetings from my paddleboard. They didn't even know it.
I'm
Like,
so
oh yeah, I'm on the
jealous.
deck. That's why you hear the boats. Like they're
I'm
so
so
loud.
jealous.
Like
So, folks that are here, we're having a relaxed fit. It's just AMA. I got more questions than I thought, and I actually have some old ones because what I was trying to do was I was trying to kind of give a balance between our questions that are more general or personal and not personal, but that aren't about movies and movies. But then I think I got a little lost because it's me. So I'm just gonna ask them in order, and if in the first realm of questions, you hear one, Justine, or the crowd hears one. The crowd. That's an interesting way to say it. The crowd that is our friends, our heads of lettuce. Just let me know, and I'll be like, okay, next one then. I'm pretty sure we haven't asked these, but my
Hello,
memory,
Spooky Robin. Yes, let's do it.
And did you see the links, the news links, so we can easily access some
Oh, yeah,
questions?
yeah, yeah. Let me pull up Discord so I have that ready to go.
How do
Ready.
I? How do I? Well, I'll let you just do it this time, and I'll figure it out another time, so you don't always have to be the one to do it. All right. So
You
hello,
click on
folks.
present. It's really not that hard.
Oh, well, where's the present button? Is it in
It's
the
it's at the bottom.
edit?
It says mute.
Oh,
It
it
says
does. Oh,
present.
next to invite and settings.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow. I learn
And when
every
you click
day.
on it, it'll give you some options and you'll pick whatever tab it is that you're wanting to share on Chrome instead of like your screen. Don't do that because you don't want to accidentally show something.
Oh no, I don't have anything personal up on my computer.
Right.
Nothing.
Totally.
Well,
Well,
I
now that I
probably
think
do,
about
don't realize
it.
it. Well, we've got people asking for some personal screen stuff that we can that I'm ready to do. All
Let's do
right.
it.
So when we do the questions, I try only to glance through them to see what we got just in general. So Justine and I kind of an equal reaction time. Anyway, not that anybody ever asked. Okay, so let's start. Uh, oh well, this one I should have deleted. It's somebody asking, would you answer a DM of mine? And this is from a long time ago, so I either have answered it or I didn't.
Didn't
So moving on.
50-50 chance there, guy, and it's anonymous. So how would you know?
It could be a woman. It could be a
It's an
non-binary
anonymous
person.
question. Would you answer my DM? Sure. Who are you?
It's a not no, literally. As I
It's
said,
anonymous.
like when it gives me hints, right? Another app I
Mhm.
used to use, which is messier looking, and I don't like it. It'll tell me the general area they're in, which I don't think it really
Hmm.
was. This one, if it gives me any hints, it's like this person is in another city. This person hasn't sent you a tell. That's what they call these things in a long time. This person sent this tell through Instagram. Well, duh. Okay. So okay. So
Moving on.
moving on. Do you guys do any rituals together? And the next part is in all caps, by the way. For real. Beyond this ritual, we don't really like we're
What,
not
like
dancing in
seances?
the moonlight. I don't know. I don't know. I only know that we haven't done a séance yet, but we're going to.
We're gonna do a Ouija board on live one of these days when Crystal's back. But no, we don't have any rituals outside of like I guess routine, but like not like cosmic of any type. Um,
I wouldn't know how. I'd either nothing would happen or it'd be a bad thing, and then it'd be like a horror movie, and I unleashed a bad thing because I'm
we
dumb.
we manifest
I
daily.
manifest. It's actually kind of worked. I mean, not to say that the manifesting, but getting my mind, preparing myself, and making steps towards goals I have, it's worked.
Yes. Yes.
In the most weird ways too. Glad for it. Uh,
My tarot's been on point lately, so there's that.
oh, nice. Oh, and can
Yeah.
you do a tarot for me sometime, like a 3 card
Yes.
daily?
I'm not like a tarot person, but I like pull cards and I'm like, "Oh, okay," and I look up what they mean. Like, that's
My
the gist
dad
of
was
what
a
I do.
tarot reader. My dad was a tarot reader. I have quite a few of his decks, but I kind of like the original.
Do you
Um,
want to make more money? Sure, we all do.
yes, yeah. No, I don't
Totally.
get those kind of things in the tell. The app itself asks me questions, but it's usually like, "What's the last text message you received? What's bothering you?" ATM for at the moment. It's usually something like that. Uh, okay. What do each of you like in a man? The next question.
Um, well, a man or a woman, I like them to be well respectful of each other's boundaries. I like a person who can communicate very well. I'm big on communication. Um, I like a person who gives grace to each other, including themselves, who's able to forgive and move forward and be able to find solutions instead of dwelling and rotting on things. Um, and I like people who are nice, just kindness. I mean, the bar's kind of on the floor, I guess, because those are just good, decent human. I'm an easy target.
You're beautiful though. Um,
Just the
what I
gnat.
like in a human being as a friend or more than a friend, I really like people that are passionate, like really passionate about something. And it doesn't have to be something
Mhm.
I'm passionate about. Like if you're really into cars, if you're really into pickling beets or puppetry, whatever, or movies, and movies and books is always a bonus for me. But if you're really passionate about something that isn't just work,
I don't know if I could
or
deal with someone pickling beets all the time.
oh,
Gross.
I could. No,
They smell like dirt and they'll stain their everything red. Everything. Everything will be red.
red's a great color. Anyway, or maybe unless they've incorporated their passion, that is something in some way a little bit artistic or into their work. They're not just a passion. I'm passionate about accounting. I'm sorry, that's probably not going to work out. You're probably lovely, but if that's all you got and you don't have any kind of hobby, might
I
be
get
difficult.
pretty passionate about Excel.
It's super like oof. Once
Yeah.
I've new spreadsheet,
Oh, you
damn
can
girl,
budget? Oh.
I cannot.
'Cause I
Maybe it would be
cannot.
this too bad for me.
Like
I can, but not great.
I do
Uh,
it great for work, but not myself.
and I have at least a little bit of a sense of humor and be nice to me. I feel like that's not asking for a lot. Like
No,
just be
that's what I'm
yourself.
saying. Once you say it out loud, it's like the bar's on the floor. I just really want you to be nice and respectful to everybody, not even just me, like to everybody. If you're rude to like people you don't know
If
or like
you're rude
super
to
reactionary,
workers,
I
I don't
will
like
not
it.
be okay with it. Yeah, I can't deal with that. That's too much. It's okay to
So
be
I
like,
guess
"Oh man, he cut me off, motherfucker." That's fine, but like to like turn around and slam on your horn and stuff and like curse them out and threaten their firstborn, that's fucking crazy.
yeah, road
Anyway.
rage is a little different. I mean, there are compromises with certain things, but I guess my only thing beyond being just a decent human being is to be passionate, really passionate about something. And it could be
Yeah,
golf, which golf is boring for me. But if I really like you and you're really passionate about it, I could get into it. I could
I could too.
easily.
That is such a fun one to like just drink and be in the sun.
Yeah, that's that and fishing. You're just like it's really about the hanging out and like
Yeah,
drinking, right? Isn't it?
yeah,
Maybe
totally.
not, but
The sunshine and the drinking.
I'll learn all the irons, the clubs, or
Why
whatever
is
they
my
are.
nose tickly?
But yeah, that's pretty. Most people just be a decent human being. It's really not that difficult. It should not be that difficult. Is what I'm saying.
The
All
most
right.
I know about golf is Tiger Woods' like marital drama.
Didn't she hit his car with a golf club or something?
I don't know. I remember like he was a serial cheater. like like
Who cares? I mean,
exchanging
that's
exchanging ladies with like the babysitter over and over again kind of thing. Really interesting stuff.
one
Serial
moment.
womanizer. Okay. Well, y'all, do you know anything about golf, fam? I know there's a guy named Michelson or Mickelson or something, and he's kind of important.
It's Nicholson.
Uh,
And my grandmother saw him play once, and I can't remember the exact story, but she was in the crowd. She said it was amazing. He did a certain shot that was hard to do.
and I remember like there's this game that's in like every other bar around here in Washington with the golf game that has like the spinny ball that you just like fling, and it like
I was told it was Nicholas, but I don't know anymore. Okay, I was just told.
I thought it was Mickelson, so it's okay.
You guys know who we mean.
It's one some old guy
So,
who's really big in
A culinary
golf.
geek Roy says my girlfriend recently listened to me break down the events of the infamous WWF Survivor Series Montreal School Job. Who's your daddy in Montreal? You guys know I'm a big Heartbreak Kid fan. And I think she's the one. That's fantastic. See,
That's
people
so
just want you
awesome.
to like to share passions. Just like
Mhm.
you get into their passions, they get into yours. You know, to
Mhm.
whatever.
Oh, I really want a guy that's into D&D. Like
That would be
that's like
cool.
at the top of
I
my
don't,
list.
that
D&D and like film, paddleboarding, that kind of stuff. Cuz those are the three things that I like to do the most. Watch movies, paddleboard, drink, and D&D.
that sounds fun to me.
Yeah. Okay, what's the next question?
Next question. And Sydney Prescott says her partner is a huge D&D nerd. This might be one we were asked before, so correct me if I am wrong. Justine can't watch Tusk. What is Emma and Crystal's equivalent for Tusk? Have we been asked this? Have I read this one?
No. Mm-mm.
Hmm.
But they're right.
Well, since
And
Crystal is not,
Mother's the other one I can't watch.
that's what I was gonna ask. Since Crystal's not here, you can come up with another one. So I just watched one that was a doozy today called Trauma from like 2007.
Oh, I've heard of this one from other
Mhm.
people. Was it Sparkle in the Darkness, I think? She just
Probably.
recently
And
watched it.
also, there's another girl that talked about it's been going around on the TikTok FYP. I watched it. It's on Tubi. It's so, but what is makes it? I'm probably not going to watch that again. Is stuff that is just sensitive to everybody. That if we
Mhm.
showed like even an image of it on here, like we might be taken down. You know, like rape. And I'm not making light of rape. I just don't want to be taken down for saying it because sometimes that happens. Or and well, any kind of sexual assault or
Yeah.
extreme violence. I can't think of something that is kind of equivalent to Tusk, which I think the walrus person played by Justin Long. I don't know if Justin Long is in the. We had that would be a good question for Justin Long. Were you actually in the walrus suit ever? I'd like to know that actually. But I don't have an equivalent of. It's not gratuitous violence or sexual violence. I can think of something, but it's another thing that the majority of people think is gross. But it's a dead dove situation, right? What do I expect? Is the first vomit gore dolls movie. But something that's interesting that you stumble upon on Tubi. So I saw an interview with the guy from Unearthed Films. Do you know Unearthed Films, guys,
Uh-uh.
folks, everybody? So Unearthed Films, they come up with a lot of unique. They're a distributor. They get a lot of unique stuff over here into the U.S. Some of it is they also distribute stuff like Vomit Gore dolls, Serbian film, all the guinea pig movies. Which my favorite of the guinea pig movies is the one with the mermaid. Um, it is. And you know, and he was just saying that in him, so he like sees like the craziest of the crazy that can be
Mhm.
distributed. Oh my god, my mouth. Uh, and he was saying it is wild what is on Tubi. It is wild, and he mentioned a few films, but I can't remember what they were. They weren't ones I knew. So Tubi has a lot of stuff going on. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess there's like a few things. For me, it's like the anxiety stuff, the stuff that's like, I don't know, that's hard to come back from kind of things that are affecting. And that's why like Tusk was so hard for me because he kind of assimilates, but he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to assimilate, but he's lost like control of his life so much so that he's become.
Broken mentally.
Yeah, and that's so freaky to me to be that transformed that you're willing to just assimilate as a freaking walrus. I don't know why that impacted me as much as it did, but it grosses me out. Plus, he's all fleshy looking, and that's gross.
Like,
Um,
it's not possible, but it like, they made it look as possible as they
they
could,
really
and it
did
was
do a good job.
freaky. It was freaky. I've seen one
Yeah,
of the walruses because, one of the tusk walruses, because I still do from
you
time to
told me about
time.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, my grandmother, Mariette, she lives in Jersey, and one of the, Kevin Smith's comic book, The Secret Stash is what it's called. Comic book stores. I think the other one is somewhere in California. Not sure. I haven't
Mm,
been there. But it is in Red Bank, New Jersey, which is north of my grandmother. So it's on the way or on the way home or on the way to my grandmother. And they had, I don't know if they still do, but they did have one of the tusk walruses. They had to put it in a cage and like had it hanging from the ceiling. So it looks less scary in person.
I would probably still be triggered by it. But Mother is another one, and it's only since I had my daughter, I can't watch kids like get murdered. And the whole baby scene and anxiety of motherhood
Oh,
in that is
Trauma
just
has a baby
too
scene in it.
much for me. Yeah, that's too much for me. I can't do that. It's too
But
close
that's
to
an
home because
obvious.
I already have anxiety in real life about things that could happen to my daughter. I don't need to see them depicted. I'm good.
Totally
Um,
fair.
so those are hard for me. And then I could have sworn you had another one, like the obsession things, the obsessed, like,
Yeah, that's okay. That's a good example. So I can watch them, but the ones that make me really uncomfortable, because it's happened to me to a degree. And one time, where somebody put a dead cat. This is a very long time ago, and I have not seen this person since, so it's not a problem. It was somebody I worked with. It wasn't even somebody I went out with. I put their mother's dead cat that they had killed into my locker at work. So things
yeah,
like that's the worst it's ever been, but that's pretty bad.
yeah,
And he was like,
that's
"I'm gonna kill
really bad.
myself in
Don't
front of
gaslight
you."
yourself. Like that's
He's
really
like, "I'm
bad.
gonna kill yourself myself in front of you." It's like, I'm sorry I was ever nice to you. Ever. I don't know what I did to deserve this. Please. But
Hmm.
anyway, that was a very long time ago. But watching a film like I had seen Fatal Attraction before that had happened to me, but watching film like that or Fatal Attraction, Swim Fan,
Hmm.
it's difficult. It's not like it brings me back. I'm not triggered, but it's upsetting. I could and we'll do an episode and I'll be fine about it. That'll be fine. But the funny thing about Play Misty for Me with Clint Eastwood and Jessica Walters from Arrested Development and many other things. She plays the woman who's obsessed with Clint Eastwood, who's a radio DJ. So she keeps on calling in and she'll be like, "Kid, will you play Misty for me?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." And so he has a one night stand with her eventually, what he thinks is a one night stand, but it's clear. Like we can see it's clear to him. She's way too into him for what he has in mind. And he just keeps sleeping with her. Even after she tries to kill her, unalive herself, and he takes her home from the hospital after that, and she's got like band like it's for serious.
Men can be real stupid.
And then he has sex with her again. I'm like, Clint Eastwood, stop having sex with this woman who has
Stop.
like just stop. You're making it worse. Oh my god. So and that so sometimes it might seem to folks that I kind of get a little antsy online. I don't think that's happened really here is because I've had bad experiences in the past. I don't want to encourage people to. I'm not that exciting. Let me tell you that. I'm not worth the effort. I'm cool and I think I'm attractive, but I'm not worth all that effort. Just trust me.
You've really put me in a weird position because I want to say, yeah, you are, but then also like, but don't do it. Like,
You should
what
not
the
do that.
fuck?
No, so the thing is, I'm amazing in my own little way, but no, don't do it to anybody. It's
Don't
not
do that.
good
Don't do it.
because Because what did you say once, Justine? Like, if you consider somebody perfect, it's only gonna go down. That
Yeah.
person you're
Oh, yeah. There's
obsessing
only
with,
one way from perfect. My therapist taught me
because it's just one of those things that
that.
no matter how great a person actually is, they'll never meet the expectations that you have in your head of them, even if they don't seem unrealistic to you. They're just not going to be that person, and it's just not going to go well. So just don't do it, Sam.
Don't do it, fam.
Don't stalk people, and if people say you're being a bit much in any way, just listen to them. Just be like, my bad, away, or whatever it is.
Spooky Robin said, "Will I play D&D or Pathfinder with him?" I'm already in a campaign right now, and I've already missed 3 shots, and I'm a little sad at myself about it. But so no, I can't right now. I'm brand new to D&D, and I don't think I can handle multiple campaigns. So one at a time for me right now.
One at a time. And Sydney says, "You're a delight, Emma, and you deserve safety." We all deserve safety. Everyone deserves a little bubble of space. Okay.
Next
So
question.
I wasn't putting myself down.
Oh, and
Favorite
for
movie?
Crystal, by the way, for Crystal, I'm pretty sure she's already said this before that she doesn't really have a movie like that for her. She's a freaking badass.
She is,
Real
but she's the most
edge
badass.
lord.
Like we're
Like a
we're all
true edge lord.
but sweet about it. No,
But totally
you
sweet.
can ask Crystal in the Discord. She's a little busy, so she might not get back to you, but she might. So she's still there on the Discord.
She
Just
is.
taking a break, and send her ghost children. Just saying. I think I'm so funny. So this question is more upbeat. Favorite, not the other question is bad. That was a great question, actually. Favorite movie musical, which we did a musical episode that is going to be coming out after our break. We haven't
That's
recorded.
tough.
Oh, I haven't. It's not tough for me. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
I have like 5 or 6 that are go-tos for me, so it's tough for me. So go ahead and you start us off, and then I will list my whole spiel of movies I love that are musicals.
All right.
Oh, is it Phantom of the Paradise?
Oh, can you let me say it? I was gonna have a build up.
No.
I have to be right.
I have to make sure everybody knew I knew. Okay.
I know you know. We know you know. No, but
I know Emma best.
Besides Phantom of the Paradise, it would be a mix between Little Shop of Horrors and Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh yeah. So for me, it's really anything by Baz Luhrmann I'm obsessed with. So Moulin Rouge, Romeo and Juliet. I
love Moulin Rouge.
Chicago, which is not Baz Luhrmann, I don't think, but I love Chicago. That one's a real good one. Of course, I love The Sound of Music. That one's a classic for me. That I even got like the Edelweiss tattooed on me, representing my daughter.
I've seen that movie once, but not for any reason. I've just only seen it once.
Oh, I love Strictly Ballroom. That's such a great movie.
I haven't seen that movie.
That one used to be one of my favorites when I was a kid. I used to watch that one and Dirty Dancing like every other day.
So is it like Dirty Dancing, Footloose kind of that era?
No, it's more like, I mean, it's kind of like Dirty Dancing, I guess, but more like if Dirty Dancing and Cutting Edge had a baby and it was ballroom dancing.
Like, who's in it?
I don't even remember. I don't think I know who they are. Like, this might have been Baz Luhrmann's like first, like his directorial debut, actually. I'll have to look it up. But it's great. I like it.
So Spooky as Robin says Romance and Cigarettes, and I don't know that one either.
I don't know, yeah. But I do like films that are romance and cigarettes. That vibe.
Can we talk about the Emma Stone movie? that I have it. There's a link
La
in our
La Land?
Discord. No, no, not the unless we're still talking about musicals. No,
Oh,
talking about
I thought
news.
we were. That's why I was like,
No,
what?
I have not seen La La Land. Please, God forbid, forbid. So if you're ready to move on, the
Yeah.
Emma Stone news about the new movie is in
Oh,
our
yeah.
Discord.
Let me pull it up. Go ahead and start talking about it, though. Where did you
I
put
can't
it?
even remember the
Maybe
name of it. So it's going to be a female Frankenstein type of story. Apparently, she is married to an older mad scientist who's going to be played by Willem Dafoe, and he looks super creepy. In the it's not even a trailer; it's a preview because that's a new thing. It feels new to me. We have previews, then we have trailers, where his face is all stitched together. And she looks kind of a Wednesday Adams ish look to her. Uh, yeah. Yeah, Poor Things. And Yorgos Lanthimos, he also did The Lobster, which I recognize was a good movie, but I personally for just didn't like it. He also did The Favorite, which was
I loved The
hilarious.
Favorite.
I loved it. We could even watch the teaser, or maybe we can't. Maybe we'll get licensed. But
Well, we have before, haven't we? What reacted to trailers? I think because we're
we
doing
watched.
commentary, it's fine. But
Well, and it's
uh,
very short. But because we did quite a bit of possibly in Michigan. So one thing that they said about it is like if the end of this article is well maybe we'll get a feminist female character that just doesn't show up in the last end of the third of the film talking about Bride of
yeah.
Frankenstein, and I'm like excuse me, we are not amateurs. We are not amateurs here, because of course as an insufferable person and especially insufferable film nerd, have we not seen Patchwork? Have we not seen The Brain That Wouldn't Die, which is about a woman who was in a car accident and her husband, who's a mad scientist, uh, she's just a head. She's just a head on a table, and he's trying to find the perfect body to put her on. Like, you kidnap a woman and put her body on his wife's head. And also the genius that is Frank Henenlotter's Frankenhooker, another story where the husband's wife dies in a tragic lawnmower accident, and to bring her back to life, he wants to pick the
Uh-huh.
perfect body to put her like to piece together. So in both of those stories, the men have without permission, not even knowing that my wife would have wanted to come back to life. They just take it
Mhm.
upon themselves to bring their wife back to life as the living dead, and also pick what body she's going to be in. So I am very pro Poor Things, but I'm saying this topic has been done before in a good way. We've had it, and I'm glad to have more of it. That is my
Let's watch the
insufferableness.
trailer. I'm ready to
It's the
watch it.
excuse me, the preview. Oh,
Is that too loud?
a little. I love Emma
Sorry if
Stone.
I killed you guys' ears. I love her too. Oh, she's gorgeous with dark hair.
I am finding being alive fascinating.
Oh.
I love Mark Ruffalo.
He's very cool. He seems very cool.
Oh, this looks so fantastical.
And
Love
I
it.
mean, sometimes it might be a little considering The Favorite and The Lobster, and I think there was another film I'd seen, but can't think of it. They might be have touches of sadness and different and a little bit of nihilism,
It's
but
a
we'll
bit
see.
quirky. Yeah.
Part of I am cautious, not
A
because of the
depressed Wes Anderson.
um that is a good comment. I like that. So is that I trust in the creators and the writers that are the writers. I trust the director and Emma Stone. But it is going to have the topic matter that my most loathed is that when he brings her back to life, the article that we pulled up, she is going to have like a restart brain. So she's going to have to learn how to do everything again.
Oh, so super naive. Blech.
We'll see. I have faith in this cast. I have faith in this crew that maybe
Yeah,
it won't be weird and gross
I hope
like it
so.
usually is. Hope so. So I'm excited
I
for that one. I
hope
hope it goes
so.
well.
Let's do another question and then we'll move on to some more news.
All right, all
That one
right.
was great.
Have you ever entertained the notion that slasher films, particularly of the 80s, were morally more okay, I messed up. Give me a second. Particularly of the 80s were morality tales about teen promiscuity.
Yes and no. I think in some cases you got that.
It was
For
inadvertent, I
I
think.
think I think sometimes it was inadvertent and it was just a reflection of society's, virgin culture. What do you call that? Gosh, man, I can't even think of the word now. Um,
Abstinence?
yeah, abstinence culture. That whole that's society. So I think that was just a reflection, an inadvertent reflection of that. I
Something to
think
be
actually
punished for, yeah.
more often we actually got, I think a lot of horror was subverting it more than they were like lifting it up or embracing it, if that makes sense. Like I think a lot of what they do and why they choose those tropes are not like as a punishment for sex. I think that they just go in tandem. Horror and promiscuity tend to be, there's a lot of shock value in both when it comes to normal society. So I think they tend to like interweave quite often. So you get kind of a little bit of both. You get it representing a reflection of society, but then you also get the subversion of it and what society deems as morally right. So
I want to the final himbo. It's nice to see you here. So I think in a lot of the 80s movies, particularly the Friday the 13th and things that were versions of it, it was very inadvertent. I mean, you could see it as and the way they've described Halloween with Laurie Strode is that it's not because she was a virgin or anything, and we don't actually know she was a virgin. Laurie Strode never said I'm a virgin. And a lot of them
she
never
actually
said that.
she actually did a lot of things that usually a final girl wouldn't do. Like she wasn't that innocent. Like she was smoking weed and stuff and yeah. Anyway.
But the typical we think of is like if they do drugs or especially if they go off and have sex. But the idea is that the final girl within the 80s
Mhm.
specifically, they're usually just a little bit more observant. And yeah, if you go out in the woods to have some sexual time
Sex
together,
time.
sexy time, you are more likely to get targeted by a killer. You're separated from the group. Or
You're
if you're on drugs just
distracted.
goofing around, you're distracted. Yeah. And so I
Mhm.
think most of the time it was inadvertent. Of course, Wes Craven always brought a lot of messages into his work, especially Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street. And the original Nightmare on Elm Street, he was really trying to focus on the kids being punished for the sins of the parents.
Yeah.
And one of the examples in that is the character of Tina, who we think is going to be the protagonist. And she is a little, like in the movie, she has a boyfriend. Like she has a boyfriend. Not that it would matter if she was
Right.
just having fun, being casual, but she does have a boyfriend. It's normal for teenagers to have sex with their boyfriend, okay? It's a normal thing. But mom wasn't in town. Like mom was out with her boyfriend in Vegas or something. I don't remember where they were, but mom was out of town and the boyfriend came over. So it's like the idea that the kids aren't being parented well and that the adults are trying to deal with their trauma, so they're too busy to focus on
Mhm.
their kids. But I don't think it was meant to be a moral failing on Tina that she has sex with her boyfriend as opposed to Nancy who's not ready to have sex with her boyfriend. I don't think that it
Yeah.
was supposed to be a message about sex. I think it was supposed to be more of a message about the involvement with the parents. I mean,
Well, and I think Wes Craven is actually exactly who I was thinking of when I was thinking of the directors that tended to subvert those ideas, because he did. He tended to subvert
with
those ideas more often than embrace them, and he did so in a way that kinda could come across as embracing if you just didn't get it, which is fine. It still plays out well for a good movie and fits in with all the other genre slashers, but if you're really paying attention to what he's saying, he is subverting it, and typically he's telling a completely different message while you're looking over there at the face value one. Um, Spooky Robin asked, "Do you think some urban legends help start slashers like The Hook?" Definitely. I think all folklore and storytelling is inspired by other stories and generational
does he mean
stories.
urban legends or the movie Urban Legend?
I think he means urban legends, not like the movie helped start slashers like The Hook.
I know
Um,
Crosby is one of the big ones that
Cropsy.
people
Yeah.
Cropsy, yeah, because I know that The Burning, they actually call him Cropsy, and then in Friday the 13th, they were originally going to call him Cropsy or something because it
Yeah.
was very based on that, but then they already found out The Burning was already doing that, so they switched it up a little bit. So yeah, and like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Drown That Dreaded Sundown was based off of real killer, and
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Ed Gein.
very
Those are
loosely, but
real.
yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a combination of urban legends and real serial killers that inspired the ideas that went into it and some of the thoughts behind the
And the
choices that they made.
industrialization of America.
Yes.
I mean,
But
and vegetarianism. Like they were the cows. It's
to
true.
to answer the question, I think everything that we do with storytelling is inspired by other stories. I mean, you can't have you ever heard that idea that there's no original art, it's all somewhat stolen, or all art is stolen, good art, great art, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
like they say there's like
Um,
only 5 songs really and only 5 stories to tell, and they just have their variants. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
yeah, and I think to some that's speaking of nihilism earlier, I think that's a very nihilistic approach to art. I think that there's a lot more that goes into it. I think making a story your own, making art your own, or telling the message that you want to tell is still originating in your own thought, and how you choose to present that is your version of art and storytelling. But you can't ignore that we're inspired by things. Growing up, I'm inspired by my mother's ghost stories all the time, and like growing up in the woods, I was inspired by, stories of Bigfoot and other cryptids. And like, there's like a version of the Loch Ness Monster in Lake Chelan here in Washington. So you get inspired by these things. And those things are generationally spoken about for centuries. Even some of this stuff is talked about. I mean, you go back to ancient cultures and Native American cultures here in America, and you're hearing about cryptids that people still talk about today. So like, these are things that are always going to inspire art. And that's why we see folklore themes so much even still in art, like The Ritual and Midsummer, and those movies, all inspired by Wicker Man. But was Wicker Man inspired by Wicker Man? No, it was inspired by folklore. Like, so yeah, I would say anything that you're seeing that made it to the big screen was inspired by something else or had some inspiration.
And the final himba says The Hills of Eyes is another example. Yes, another example of Wes
Yeah.
Craven film. I mean, The Hills of Eyes is the nuclear family in the desert at a place, and the killers there were inspired by, I can't remember where, the United Kingdom, Scotland, Ireland, but it was a real backwoods family that lived in caves and ate people a little bit, and they were very inbred. That was, and then
They
Wes
inspired the
Craven's
X-Files episode too, didn't they?
Oh my god, that was one of the freakiest X-Files episodes for me. When the mom was like legless under the bed and like this wheelie thing. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
for like she was a breeding stock. That the all of the intention behind that is so like stomach, yeah, turning.
That was one of the freakiest. That and like the weird toilet worm. Well, it wasn't a toilet, it was in the sewer. But it was like it
the,
looked
the
freaky.
lamprey,
Yeah.
the lamprey guy. That one and the guy that eats livers. Oh, those are the most memorable ones to me. Like,
Is Home a banned episode? Is that the one that's like that
yeah,
where
that's the one. Yeah,
Oh, it got banned? I saw it.
it wasn't
I
banned in
also have the box
America. It was
set.
banned in the UK. And like other countries. I think it might have been banned in Canada too, but I think everybody can watch it on Tubi now. But yeah, it was definitely a banned episode. And I think that it was banned from cable television for a while here, but it aired here, and then it's in the box sets and you can access it and stream it still, but it was definitely a banned episode. There's another one too. I think they have another episode that was banned, and I can't remember which one it was.
And then the Last House on the Left, which, Wes Craven said himself. He's like, "Oh, I just want to do my version of the Virgin Spring, the Ingmar Bergman film." Uh yeah, so good. There's another cool the Clown Icon. Have there ever been horror films you two feel should have ended up at one instead of a series?
Yeah, Halloween.
I love Donald Pleasance. I love Donald Pleasance. See, for me,
I'm
Donald
really
Pleasance-
just kidding. I don't care. Make
I
as
don't care
many of
either.
a film as you want, because some of them are gonna hit, some of them are gonna miss. I'll still watch it.
Like I can't think of an example, but let's say there's a film franchise or series where I really only watched the first one and then really haven't cared about the others. I don't care if they make more. I don't think it ruins the first one at all. I can completely ignore the other ones, and
I
other people
haven't
will
seen
enjoy
half
them.
the Saw movies, probably.
Oh, I've seen them all
I
at
have
least
not seen them
twice.
all. We're going to. I'm going to watch them all because Saw 10 is coming out. And I honestly, it baffles me that there's even 10 of them because I haven't seen, I think I've seen 4, maybe 5 of them. So half of them, if that. So
Spiral was the first film I saw at the drive-in or anywhere outside of my home after the not
I've
the
had no
pandemic isn't
interest
current,
to
but when
watch
people were
them.
going out.
But I will watch them. It's not because I don't think they should have made them or like anything like that. Like I don't have anything against Saw. It's just I'm just not in it, I wasn't interested in watching them and I've never taken that time to dedicate to watching them. I will. So there really isn't anything that I feel should have ended at 1 in a series. I guess maybe like
Have you seen the one where Princess Bride comes back into
Tremors.
it?
I would like it if Tremors got a better reboot that it deserves because the original is so stinking good and they all just got so goofy after that. And
I don't
not in
know,
a
I
way that I
still
thought
saw
was
it.
that great. Just made for TV, like Sharknado style bad to me, which is fine. There's an audience for that. People enjoy them. Great. I don't enjoy them and I would like to see a real serious reboot of Tremors.
Spooky Robin just hit one
Sequel.
of my buttons here. Supposedly there's going to be a 4th Reanimator movie. You know, the 3rd Reanimator movie, which is has Herbert West in a prison.
Mhm.
But it was originally going to be where they were going to reanimate or kill the president. Like there was a presidential thing involved, and that story had to be scrapped. And that might be the 4th film. I don't know if you've heard something different. Let us know, Spooky Robin. I mean, it has to. It has to. I mean, I'm not usually too attached to actors, but it would be great if Jeffrey Combs. If Jeffrey Combs is still in great shape, he's in his 60s. I don't think he's that old. You know, so I think he should be able to do it. I'd love to see him be Herbert West again.
So, speaking of sequels, we do have some news around some sequel news that you shared. Terrifier 3. Oh, did I just
That was a big news this week. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually really I don't need a Terrifier 3. I didn't need a Terrifier 2. And I would actually like to see more original content from these creators with this budget that they're getting instead of revisiting the same success, I guess. I don't mind it. Like I said, I don't mind that they're not stopping at 1 and 2. I'm happy for them. Keep making movies. I think that's a great success story in horror. But I would love to see what else they got up their sleeve as far as creative freedom can go when you have a budget and 2 success stories like Terrifier 1 and 2 were.
Maybe they're waiting to make enough money. Maybe.
I
'Cause-
don't know how they didn't on Terrifier 2. It was really well broadcast that they made a ton of money on it. So and it says that they're getting a much bigger budget. So maybe they only could get approved to make Terrifier 3. And after this one, they'll get the freedom to make, something new. Maybe. That I don't know how these studios work, to be honest. I'm sad that they're not getting that freedom now. That sucks. I'm sure Terrifier 3 will be just fine. I don't think it's going to be as successful as 1 and 2 were. I think
it has
even
a
when I
big
hear people,
following.
I hear when people talk about 2, I feel like I don't feel like I'm getting the full truth on how people felt about that movie. Like, I
I've
hear
seen
good things, but it always sounds like, oh yeah, it was really good. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I think the thing about it is to me personally. I haven't heard what the creators have said. I'm not talking about. I don't know. I'm not talking about anything I've heard anybody else say. Although this is not an unusual thing to say about it. I've heard other people say this. It's more of a appreciation for extreme practical effects and iconic horror villain. He's not my favorite horror villain. Terrifier is not my favorite. I mean, I think a big shift besides having more of a budget for really awesome practical effects
Mhm.
that I enjoyed. The first one is as you know, Justine, and pretty much most folks in here know, it's a very simple story. You know, he's just
Mhm.
kidnapping girls and killing them, right? Then there's a family involved in the second one, and they're not trying too hard, but it's not great. It's not a bad. It's a good enough story. Let's put it that way. With the family, the older sister, and I think yeah, she's got a little brother, and it's just a single mom. I mean, it's fine. It works, but I mean, one thing I do appreciate, even though Art the Clown to me doesn't hit as much as I would like him to. For me, I don't dislike him. He just doesn't hit as much as I want. Is that I like as someone that just watched a very extreme movie today. Uh, is I like that it goes so far with the practical effects, but it never ever even hints at sexual assault, and that is very rare. So when they say more
Yeah.
extreme, I hope which I think they will. They hope they do just like, I know that sounds weird. Like, I don't like I like all the violence, but when it goes to sexual assault, that's where I cross the line. But it's true within
And
films,
it's
of
not
course.
just about crossing the line. It's about the fact that sometimes it's done for gratuitous reasons and it's unnecessary and it's not really adding to the plot. And it feels like it's just a way to have additional, like, disgusting violence against women on the forefront of a film that's not necessary, because sawing a woman in half is plenty violent enough that you don't need to rape her before you do it. Or sorry, Twitch, YouTube, but you know what I mean? So like it's not necessary, and I like the fact that they have two films that did not include that, right? It's refreshing for sure. I also loved the costume design of Terrifier 2. I thought that the main protagonist costume was really effing cool.
The
Um,
wings, yeah, I love
yeah, the
her
gold and
warrior.
stuff, she looked so badass. But I also think Art the Clown is a well-designed villain. Like,
He
look,
looks good.
he's very charismatic. The way he is kind of cringy and uncomfortable is just really smart. It reminds me of like how the guy in Creep was, where it's like he's not
Oh,
particularly reinventing the wheel here with a clown or like a creepy dude, but the way that they play that awkward, uncomfortable, but you're not quite pushing the boundaries enough to like have anybody really be belligerent to you and like run away. Like, I think that's really intelligent because, oh, what was that
look
movie?
at
There
those
was a
teeth.
movie where like, yeah, there was a movie where like they talked about, was it Hannibal? I can't remember what movie it was where they talk about, oh, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the remake with Stellan
Marty Runa.
Skarsgård and Rooney Mara. Yeah, remember the Stellan
Alex Skarsgård.
Skarsgård character is
I thought it was
like,
Alex. Isn't it Alex Skarsgård? Or is it
no, it's Stellan. It's their
It's
dad.
Papa? It's
It's
Papa
Papa
Skarsgård?
Skarsgård.
Really? I didn't remember that. I've only seen it once.
Daniel Craig is the main character, but
Okay.
but
Okay, yeah,
Stellan
that's what I
Skarsgård
yeah.
is like the antagonist in the movie, and he has a really great line where he talks about how easy it is to basically get people into his house to murder, because people are more afraid to offend you than they are to save
I
their own
remember that.
lives.
They said that
And
in the Swedish version too.
yeah, and it's and that is so true, and you see that, and I love it when that theme is brought up in horror, because for one, I'm actually the worst at that. I'm really bad about telling people how I feel. I'm very open with my feelings in the situation and really willing to just leave if I'm not happy. I'm the opposite of that. So thankfully I'll never get caught up in that situation. But I think it's a fascinating thing, and it's very interesting to look into with psychology. It's also the same reason why you have like bystander syndrome. And I love it when films, especially horror films, touch on bystander syndrome, because that is a real thing that has been studied that happens, where people just make an assumption that somebody else is going to do something about it, so they don't do anything. And then you have this herd mentality of people who are just not doing anything while someone gets murdered in front of them. It's just an interesting. And I feel like sometimes people will watch stuff like that and they'll be like, there is no way I would totally leave, or there was no way that I would just let them, I would beat their ass or something when they're watching movies like that. And I'm like, but see, psychology says otherwise. Like, studies show otherwise. People don't. Like, so I don't know. I think that's
Good
really
luck
cool.
getting me out of the house is all I'm gonna say. Good luck getting me out of the house or catching me outside of my house. That's not true. I go out like a normal person pretty much. But am I crazy about it? Uh, uh, Pessimisty said, it fucking rocked. Terrifier 2 is, and a lot of people really loved it. And so, and then the final himbo asks, do you think Art the Clown is slowly becoming a horror icon of this generation? So we're mid millennials, so I probably, I mean, it's a very great independent film success story. I love to see it, and it really depends on how long. I mean, I can imagine he'll stick around like Ghostface and such, especially if they're making more. That he'll definitely stick
Yeah.
around for like even the Gen Z or the Gen Alpha, which are the kids now, which is Nordica and the kids I know, my
Mhm.
friends' kids. Like even if they're too young to see it, they hear about it, and it gets that intrigue for those that could be interested in horror. Is that ooh, that movie I'm not supposed to see? I definitely think so. I definitely think so. Probably. What do you think, Justine?
Mm, I'm sorry. I don't know what I missed the question.
Oh, the final himbo asked if we think Art the Clown is slowly becoming a horror icon of this generation.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I think more.
I think it's
Mm,
harder for us to see as mid millennials to kind of. I think, yeah,
well, it's
I think it's hard.
because there's I'm not a good barometer for that, because there's a lot of things that I find iconic and adore that I think should be iconic that probably isn't.
From my
Like,
memory, oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, but I think that Art the Clown is very popular as far as the ease to reproduce it and for cons and stuff. And I think that people were really itching for a simple kind of slasher villain like him, and he was what they needed. So I think the people that are into him are the same people that are into the other classic slashers and not this generation so much. I think it's actually the older crowd that really likes the 80s slashers that's into Art the Clown the most. I think our newer generation is more into, I don't
I
know.
don't know what those kids
Like,
are into.
I think they're
Just
really into Scream still. I think meta is always going to be representative of the generation it comes out in. So I think they're doing a good job keeping that one relevant.
I think it depends on
So
timing. And Sydney Prescott said, I think it might be too early to tell for art. So
yeah.
thinking of back when I was a teenager, we're in the early 2000s. Whoa, how'd we get here?
Yeah.
Wow. Why is everyone either wearing skater pants or low-rise jeans? What's happening? Um, Anyway, everyone's walking around with their Walkmans with skip protection. Put yourself there. We're in a mall, and it's actually a place people go. Um, so at like the Hot Topic, or this might be a bad barometer. But at the time I was a teenager, or a little earlier than that, at Hot Topic, back before internet shopping was super huge. Uh, at Hot Topic or Spencer's, which are still popular stores for teenagers now, popular for places that exist, uh, is that I remember the three that would always be there for like horror stuff was Jason, Michael, and Freddy. And then maybe that line would have a Leatherface and a Chucky. Chucky was still very popular. I remember the Chucky dolls in Spencer's,
Mm,
but I think they go through and Ghostface sometimes. But Ghostface was not like because it was kind of like a little bit of an in between time. Because what year did Resurrection come out? Like 2001? I don't know.
um,
Early
I
2000s
don't
or
remember.
late
Yeah,
90s.
late
Uh,
90s, I think.
and so yeah, skip protection. So I feel like it goes in cycles, right? And I
Hmm.
think and a lot of so I've been seeing a lot of Art the Clown. I've been seeing a lot of Ghostface, obviously, and The Grabber, which apparently that's getting a sequel. But I think it is too early to tell. I think it depends on how many movies they make. It depends on, I don't know. I think it is too early to tell for sure. But he's definitely going to always be there in the conversation. Like he might not always be at the front of the horror merchandising, but he might be there on the side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Or was that just long and pointless travel back in time?
No, I think that totally makes sense. And I think that's why I don't really have a lot of hope for Art Clown being like super iconic. But who knows? Maybe this third one will be a banger and seal the deal for Art. But I think it's more of the same generation is really into him and making him super popular. So it could fizzle out pretty quick. We don't know. We don't know. Time will tell.
One thing I gotta say is that I think one character in particular, the most, who hasn't gotten a recent good film, but is still extra popular with the young and the old to different degrees, is Freddy. I mean, Jason
Mhm.
too, but I feel like Freddy's always up there. And the remake came out in the early 2010s
Mhm.
and didn't do well, but Freddy's always a favorite for folks. He's a favorite of mine.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree.
I don't think
Um,
my prediction is that Art might still be very popular, but I don't think he's ever going to be a Freddy,
mm-mm, yeah, I agree.
especially if
So,
they find a new good Freddy. Anyway,
what's the next question that you have on your AMA?
all right, all right. Okay, so this is going to be a quick answer. Who is your favorite serial killer? None of them. I don't like they're losers. I
Are we talking
don't.
about like real life serial killers? Yeah, none of them.
I mean, if we're talking
Mm-mm.
about movie serial killers, I'd have to think about it. But I mean, I
Mhm.
just recently edited our serial killer episode. I guess I kind of um like our main character Axel plays in Santa Sangre, or Norman Bates kind of. And I love Joe Spinell sweating in Maniac. But if it's a question about real life serial, I don't like any of them. they're
Yeah,
not
I don't like
they're
any of
not
them either. I am fascinated by the Zodiac story, but I don't like him, and I have no glorification of any serial killers. We talk about that a lot in our serial killer episode, actually. But as far as like faux serial killers, like film, Nightcrawler was really good. I really like
and it
that
was
one.
good. It's unique.
Um, I thought that was such an interesting story. And then yeah, I think Maniac is up there for sure. There's a lot of them. That's a tough
That's one of
one.
my favorite
Um,
subgenres in
I
horror.
like When a Stranger Calls because it's so simple. So I just that's nice. I like that. And then any home invasion really.
You
Funny
know where the
Games.
children are. Have you checked on the
Funny
children?
Games is
Yeah,
fantastic because they're just deranged. There's like no method to the
that's a brutal
madness.
movie. That's brutal.
Yeah.
No one's really gonna survive.
No,
The
but I love the, like, breaking of the fourth wall in that movie. It's I don't know, I like those meta films, and that's super meta, right? So meta.
the clown icon said, "What do y'all think of the MTV Scream series? I haven't seen it, so I can't have it. I don't
My
have an
daughter
opinion.
just started watching it, though, so I've watched a couple episodes of, like, season 3.
I mean, don't
Like,
they not have a ghost face even? Like
they
it's just
did in the ones I watched, that's what I thought. I was like, "They don't have a ghost face, they have, like, the weird, clear, like,
so it
deformed
could be
mask."
any killer, right? Like
Yeah,
it's a
but, like,
teenage killer of teens.
there was a ghost face mask in the episode I watched because a kid got killed by a guy with a hook, I think. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. My daughter was watching it right now. She seems to enjoy it. She loves Scream. So, but no, I have not watched it. I tried to watch the first season. It came off very MTV, very like teen soap opera. I just did not get into
How could
it.
you? I just don't understand how you could do a Scream TV series without a ghost face. That's just maybe it's great.
They
I don't
didn't
know.
I don't think they got the rights to the ghost face mask,
Then
and
why
that's why.
bother? I know why they bother because it's more marketable. It's easier to
I'm pretty
market, and you
sure
can get more
didn't
eyes
it
on
come
it.
out like right when Scream 4 dropped too?
I I don't know. I don't know. I think I found out that it
Or shortly
existed
after?
quite a while after it actually started to exist. So I don't know.
Right. Yeah. No, so no. No, we haven't. Sorry.
Yeah, The Strangers is a great movie. The Final Himbo. I like The Strangers.
Yeah. Yeah,
Here's
that's it.
another question. Do you prefer? This is more of a non-movie related question, which we have a few of those tonight. Um, do you prefer to get to know somebody slowly or quickly with intensity, and why?
Both. I prefer to get to know somebody however long that they want to let me get to know them. I like
I
to respect
agree.
people's boundaries on that stuff. You know, if people don't want to say things up front, I don't like immediately assume that they're not telling me stuff for nefarious reasons, but I assume that everybody's been hurt by somebody and they will want to tell you things when they're comfortable telling you things. If that's fast and intense, then great. I can be fast and intense myself because I am an open book, and that tends to make people really comfortable with also divulging themselves pretty quickly. Um, so really it's whatever's clever.
I'm the same as you, Justine. I kind of just go with the flow. I'm not in a hurry to like. I don't like need to know a lot at first. I mean, yes, there's some relationships in whatever form that you just hit that chemistry and it goes intense, and that doesn't mean
Mhm,
that when it needs to take its time for whatever reason, it's not good. It's just different. It's just some
mhm.
people are different. I really don't have a preference. I just think that things need to happen their own time, and sometimes, damn, they happen fast.
Organically.
Sometimes they happen
Yeah,
real fast.
I
Ugh.
just prefer it to be organic. I prefer people not to, like, try to rush things with me, and I would never try to rush things with somebody else. But I do like to get certain things out of the way so that I know before I find out later that we're not gonna be compatible about some things. So some of the important stuff I wanna know right away. Like, if I know,
Like
like, you're
intentions, like, are we
yeah,
on the same path of what we want? That's pretty important to know.
yeah.
Or like, or even if you don't know what path we're on, that's fine. Just let me know you don't know, so we can kind of curve our emotions and stuff to kind of be prepared for whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And Optimisty says depends how the person, how their vibe works. Different people operate differently. So I want to go with what's genuine, honest for that person. Totally agree,
Yep,
Optimisty.
agree.
And hey, if you're a person that likes to go one way or the other, like fast or slow, there's nothing wrong with that. I just kind of, I like going with the flow, fast or slow. I didn't mean for
Spooky
that to
Robin says, "Have
rhyme.
you ever done speed dating?"
No, God. Ugh.
Only if Tinder counts, because that's swiping that's pretty fast.
I
Left
don't
to right,
even
left to right.
do the
Like
internet dating. I rather go into the ocean. And so let me specify the reason. I don't think I think internet dating is great, especially for people that live in areas where there's really not a lot of people directly around you. So it's not like easy to meet people or you're really busy. It's not, just for me, I'm a person like if I like you, I like you a lot. And I don't like a lot of people in that way. I like a lot of people. But when it comes to dating, it's like I'm going to pretty much like you right away and then just take it at
mhm.
its speed. But it's rare that even happens. I've only been mostly in long relationships and then been single for long periods or short periods of time. And then I'm in a serious relationship. I can't even remember how it happened and went so fast. But it's just not for me. So speed dating at like a table? No, I rather jump in the
No.
ocean, and I hate the ocean.
I have never
I
done, like,
respect it.
genuine speed dating outside of Tinder, if that counts.
I've
But,
only ever seen that on TV shows anyway. Like I've never really
yeah.
seen it like set up where you
I don't
meet
think I
people
don't
for
know
like
if they
2
even
minutes.
do that anymore, do they?
I don't know.
Because there's Tinder. Why would you subject yourself to that?
I mean,
Yeah,
if I want to meet someone in person, I go to social places, but not in a
yeah.
way where it's set up to directly meet people that way.
I
It
feel
just
like
seems it's too much pressure.
speed dating is just a great, comedy trigger in film. No,
Or
I don't think
in
it's real
sitcoms,
anymore.
like,
Yeah.
"Come on, knock on our door. We've been waiting for you." With his and hers, Three's Company too. And then, and then
And
Don
then,
Knotts comes busting through
and
the
we know
door
what
and is
happens
picking
there.
up.
We all know what happens next.
That is such a dated show because it was in
Yeah.
the 70s, right? And like they were just friends all like living in the same place, and they had to pretend that Ritter was gay so people didn't think they were having sex. I mean, the 60s happened. I mean, really, it just seems like a dated show. I've seen an unusual amount of it on TV Land when I was a kid. I had nothing to do. But yeah, that's my Three's Company relationship. There we go. Yeah, Mr. Furley is definitely the best. We don't even discuss the other one.
What's our
Don Knotts' house here. Next question.
Yeah.
Okay, well this is another personal one because I'm not moving it around. Has a celebrity ever slid into your DMs, Justine?
No. But Tom Hardy, I am waiting. So.
I think I'm really cool. Sometimes I think I'm interesting, right? I have my values, but like, who wants to talk to white trash like me? Well, they got fancy. I'm a redneck woman. I ain't no high class broad.
Just caught up in the
Raisin. I say,
I
hey,
say,
yo,
hey, yo,
and
yeehaw.
let me use Vincent Price as an example. I mean, he totally would have been in love with me and married me, right? But like in reality, like, does he really?
He would have
wanna,
slid. He would have
he
slid.
would he slide in and be like, "Hey, Emma, I saw your TikTok about
Maybe
it's
we'll
weird that
slide
Paul
into his
Schrader."
DMs.
No, I would never. I would never. I would never, especially since it would go like into the request file of many people requesting to talk to you. No. Talk to them. No. I would never. No. But do they want to hear about? Oh, they're like, oh, hey, Emma, I saw your TikTok about the weird project between Bret Easton Ellis and Paul Schrader. What did you think after you watched the movie? I'm like, well, actually, thank you for asking because I actually have a lot of thoughts on that. But let's end that right now.
Next
That's
question.
all I gotta say. Next question. My honest trailer starring joke about Mad Max Fury Road. Tom hardly in the movie. That is funny.
The final himbo says favorite queer horror movie, and I actually answered this recently for the hunting season. He did this like last year, I think, for Pride Month, and he re-edited it and posted it again this year. And my answer really hasn't changed. It's still Jennifer's Body, but I would include Scream 6 now too, probably, just because I think Mindy Meeks is freaking amazing. I love her so much. Although I do wish her girlfriend's guts fell out of that ladder.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I hate when that happens to my girlfriends. I love Bride of Frankenstein, obviously. I mean, pretty much any queer horror I like. I didn't like They/Them because it's trying too hard. It's nice that they made the effort. I don't think that it was a shill. I really think Kevin Bacon really is like he's in silly stuff a lot, but I think he's really thoughtful of what he what he does for jobs because he was in They/Them if you haven't seen it. And Spyro is really good with those regards. Not the Saw movie in 2019, but on Shudder. Yes, I have seen that. Yes. And there's also Spiral the giant snail movie from Japan. That's a good movie. That's a good one too. Future filmmaker reviews with Joshua. Hey girls. Hey, future filmmaker reviews with Joshua.
Hey girl.
So
that's what I thought it was.
It's hard when the question is asked because I know I'm leaving so many out on the spot. That's why I try to I just glance over the questions so like I don't have like a prepared answer. And just he's like, can I remember? Because I can't remember. But there are a lot of I love Jennifer's Body as well. So if you guys have any queer horror recommendations, please put them in the comments.
Tis the month. Yeah. So as I'm being bisexual, that movie is that epic for me. It was an awakening. So
Remember, let's play boyfriend and girlfriend just like we used to. Megan Fox, slide into my DMs, you know?
Amanda Seyfried, slide into mine.
Oh yeah. Both y'all.
Both of y'all.
Both of y'all.
Both of y'all.
Yeehaw. All right. This is
And
another...
Garner, what's his name? Kyle Garner, him too,
Which one
man.
is he?
The emo boy that she eats.
Oh yeah. He's
The
in a
guy
lot
that
of
was in
interesting projects,
Smile
too.
too. Yeah, he's in a lot. He's a scream king, scream, whatever.
So this is another, since I'm not mixing them up, the next
Scream
two
salad.
questions are not movie related. So there are a lot of movie related questions. I'm gonna get lost if I mix them up, okay, guys? Because I've done that.
No worries, no worries.
All right. So just for folks to know, like, if you're getting really bored, we're gonna talk movies again. Or maybe you're not. Maybe you like it. I don't know. Maybe you guys like this. So somebody complimented us saying, I like that you talk about dating in a non-judgmental way. Oh, like that you all
Oh,
is very
sure.
is specifically in there. Any dating advice for men? Justine?
Well, I would say be as authentically you as possible and try to keep the negativity out of your profiles. So it's an instant like no for me. And a lot of a lot of women I've talked to, when they're reading a guy's like profile or bio and it says things like if you're super materialistic, swipe left. If you wear too much makeup, swipe left. Don't list all the like negative things that you don't want in a person. Instead, just talk about you in your bios and be
What you do
authentically
like.
you. Because it's not about getting a girl so much as it's about getting the right girl.
Well, getting to know people and finding the right one, you know?
Yeah, and I think we can learn a lot more about ourselves when we're dating than you tend to learn about the other person. So you might discover things that are right for you and not right for you as you're dating. So be open-minded, but at the same time, be you as much as possible. There's plenty of people out there who are looking for very specifically authentic things that a lot of people tend to keep to themselves and hide. You don't need to be like somebody else to get a girl. Be you.
That's as you know, that's very much the same thing that Robin Williams says as the genie in Aladdin. You know, be yourself. That is
yourself.
be yourself, which is actually great advice. The only thing I kind of have, just be yourself, and if they don't like you for who you are, then it wasn't a good match. Don't see
Right,
it as,
that's okay.
oh, I failed. No, you just don't match together. Even if you liked them,
Which is
that
totally
doesn't mean
okay. It's
yeah,
totally
it
okay to
happens
not
to
be right for somebody.
everybody.
It's not because you're not good enough or not right. It's because y'all are not right for each other. Relationships are a two-way street. It's not about you being perfect for somebody else. It's about you guys being right for each other. So just keep that in mind. And also stop looking for a unicorn. I mean, sure, look for your unicorn, your perfect person that you're looking for, but also don't forget that nobody's perfect. And everybody wants to work on something, and we all have our flaws. So just be prepared to accept your own flaws and someone else's.
The only extra thing I could add on is something that I've noticed from when I've gone on dates in, like, I don't know, the olden days. But is or if someone is sliding into my DMs, which that's fine. You're not really gonna, most people aren't gonna get anywhere, which is fine. As long as you're respectful, I don't mind. But one thing I have noticed that men in particular more so do, that you really want to impress somebody, right? I'm saying you as the man in this scenario, because you asked for dating advice for specifically men. You really want to impress somebody, so you're talking all about yourself and you're listing all these things that you're good at, but you're focusing so much on impressing that person. you're not asking them questions or acting like you actually want to get to know them as opposed to trying to impress them. I think that I'm not saying don't talk about yourself. Definitely do. But don't stress so much about it. It's off-putting for me anyway. I don't know about other women,
Yeah.
but
Oh, no, I totally agree. I also would say don't have her plan your date. If you want to take her out on a
that I
date,
don't care
take
if
her
they
out
do.
on a date. No, don't do that. I'm telling you,
But I'm
don't do that.
different. I'm different.
I know
Believe
you're
me, I'm an
different, but
anomaly.
I think you are an anomaly because nothing drives me crazier than a guy asking me what I want to do on my first date with them. Like, I don't know. What do you want to do? You're the one asking me out. I'm sure you had an idea on what you wanted to do. You're asking me out on a date. Show me what you got. What do you want?
Okay. Okay. So
What do we
for me,
like?
okay,
Where are you
you're the man.
comfortable?
You're gonna be the man asking me on a date. So Justine asked me, "Hey, you want to go out? What do you want to do? Ask me. Come on."
I would not say that if I were a man.
You're an imaginary person right here.
Well,
You're
what I would
acting.
say is I would love to talk and get to know you more and take you out sometime. When are you available? That is what I would ask. Period.
Okay, Justine, I'm available on Wednesday, and I think, and me as myself, I think it'd be great if we did, like, if we could go see a movie if you're into that, and then go somewhere. I would say probably a restaurant, although
Mhm.
I have been known to be quite the slut on the first date, but I don't go on a lot of first dates, so I'm not ashamed to say that. Not that you should be anyway. But then we can go somewhere like get coffee or food or whatever, so we can talk about the movie after. Nothing hard.
You know what I would say? I would say, for a first date, I don't want to spend 2 hours not talking to you. So instead, let's go to this bar that's movie themed and has a bunch of like movie memorabilia since you like movies, and we'll eat and drink and talk about movies together.
I said we're going to watch a movie, and that's what we're doing. Just kidding. I
Yeah.
wouldn't do that. No,
I also don't recommend you take people on a movie date for your first date because you're going to spend 2
unless you're
hours just
me.
sitting. I'm the reason I say that. It's a great date. It's not a great first date. You're going to get nothing out of that person but the movie for like, first of all, you're watching a movie for 2 hours, and afterwards you're going to talk about the movie for another hour. And then what do you know about that person at the end of it? What they thought
I
of a
want to
movie.
talk about the movie.
I know you do. And for me and you, that would be really great. It would be really great to hear your thoughts on a movie, Emma, because I love to hear your thoughts on a movie. But I also would want to know if we're fucking compatible. So don't take them to a movie on your first date. Second or third, sure. Not your first date.
That was just an example, but I'm just saying.
I know it's
don't
just an
mind.
example. I just gave you guys a master class on how to handle your first date.
Thank you, Justine.
All right. When are you available? That's all you have to ask. And then when they tell you when they're available, you'll know what type of time you can have. If it's a weeknight, you're not going to go get drunk and play karaoke with them. But
Oh, that's so fun, though.
you could if it's Friday or Thursday or whatever day they're, I don't know. I've had a first date at karaoke. So that was a lot of fun. But the point is, you plan the date that makes you comfortable to be your best authentic self.
That sounds great to me. And we've got some comments here.
Doing Christian Bale Batman voice
the whole time. I'm Batman. I would at the very least find out what types of food you like or dislike. And Optimisty also says the same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
I said that to someone once. That is so funny. Optimisty, I think deep down inside, you and I we're just soulmates. Because someone asked me, they're like, hey, what do you want to do on our first date? And I'm like, take over the world. And then we went on a whole conversation about how I was going to take over the world, what I was going to do, what kind of world I was going to set up after I took it over. And then I never went out on a date with him because I thought it was a stupid thing to ask me.
It sounds like at least an interesting conversation came out of it. And Robin says, take them to a stab movie. So that's a good example because I'm thinking of when they go to a stab movie like in Scream 4, where it's like everyone's talking and having a good time. Like, it's
a movie in like the park would be great because they're always showing movies that everybody's seen or they're classic movies. A drive-in would be good. something where like you're not going to disrupt other people if you're talking, but also it may be a movie that both of you have already seen and just share love for, where you don't have to, pay attention the entire time, that you can like communicate to each other during. That would be great.
And maybe
If you asked
we
me
could go
that,
for a walk
Justine,
at
I
the
would
drive-in,
instantly
too.
propose to you. You would propose if I asked
Aw.
you what? What did I ask?
What did you ask?
When you're available?
Oh yeah. Aw.
Oh, that would be so great. Night of the Living Dead in a park, like at a nighttime like park movie screening would be so perfect.
would be
That's a
fun.
perfect movie for that. Oh, I would love that. Have you guys seen Across the Spider-Verse yet? I haven't, but I heard it was really, really good, and I really want to see it. I tried to convince my daughter to watch it. She's not into that version of Spider-Man. She likes the Amazing Spidey Friends. So she's not quite old enough for the Spider-Verse.
I like the first one. I haven't.
But she does
I'll
like
see the second one
Spider-Gwen.
eventually.
But like
Spider-Gwen's cool.
the kiddo version. Yeah. What's our next
right.
question?
Our next question is our last. Well, maybe not. There's a celebrity related question after this question. How do you feel about boyfriends having socials? And when I first read that, I was thinking at like ice cream socials or something. I'm like, that sounds adorable.
I would love to go on an ice cream social with my boyfriend.
Or like
you mean like
boyfriends,
social
like
media?
the boyfriends, like they mean social. There's another part, especially if they like other girls' pics. I'm like, oh, I thought like, hey, isn't it cute when our boyfriends go out and have like Sundays together? That's adorable. I love it.
I follow a lot of thirst people on Instagram, so I would be very hypocritical if I had a problem with that. They got to make their money too, and we're supporting them. So no, I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with if they're trying to shoot their shot with other people. That is cheating. If you're just enjoying and supporting someone's art, their body, their work, great.
Hey, everybody
I like
looks.
to look at beautiful people too. So
Everybody looks.
I don't have a problem with it.
So liking girl stuff, talking to girls in a neutral way is fine, or guys or whatever you're doing. I don't care. Like I just, and I usually go out with artistic types, so they're gonna have their socials. There's a certain. I don't care. Again, as long as it doesn't get into you're actually doing real flirting and intending on meeting each other, that's where it goes too far.
Unless we're in an open relationship or we're ethically non-monogamous, then I don't have a problem with it either, as long as there's communication that's, like I said, ethical. So
yeah, because as long as it goes in the parameters of whatever relationship, whether it's monogamous, open, or poly, even poly and open has their rules. So
there are, these are prearranged agreements and boundaries that you have as a couple that matter. So yeah, I mean, if I say like, oh yeah, you could totally flirt with other women and I don't have a problem with that, but don't sleep with them until we've talked about it or something, or don't bring another person into this relationship unless we agree upon it. That would be a boundary that I've already spoken. So it wouldn't be something that is hard to not know, I guess.
Spooky Robin says, everyone flirts if you're in a relationship or not. Yeah, but there's a difference between flirting with intention and just friendly flirting. Like,
yes.
Like there's
if you're intentionally sliding into a girl's DMs on Instagram and telling her about how beautiful her ass looked the other day, that is an intention. You're not just harmlessly flirting with someone. You are shooting your shot. So there's an intention there. If you're like out and about and you're like checking a girl out and you tell her she looks beautiful, I'm not going to have a problem with that. If you try to ask her out afterwards, bet we'll have a problem.
I mean, especially if you work in the service industry in any way, or in sales.
And some people are just intentionally flirty.
Some people are just naturally flirty too.
Yeah.
And it's going to be part of the retail experience sometimes. I mean, friendly, light flirt. It's more of a social thing. That's fine. I mean, I do know some folks, they don't want their significant other to have socials, and that's between them. I don't judge it.
Yeah. Totally.
But so
know
if
your
you are
boundaries.
dating somebody that has a problem with it, ask why and figure out why and figure out what works for you guys, because we cannot speak for all people or all women. We are just who we are. I'm an Aquarius. We're like, we hardly know you're there. So
I think I'm like a borderline narcissist. So I figure like if they're even trying to look for something better, I'm just kidding. Then
They won't
then
find
I
it.
don't want them. So go look for it, but don't expect to come home. Like what can you do? I can't control another person and what the choices that they're going to make. So I'm going to be okay with things up until a point. But I think that that's stuff that has to be agreed upon. And I may not be okay with somebody that I'm dating being on Instagram looking at naked women if there's something I know that they're not good at doing. Like they're not faithful. They don't respect my boundaries. Then if I saw that, I would be upset. But then that's a whole different issue. I have a trust issue with them. So maybe I shouldn't be with them, and that's okay too. If you are with somebody who has spoken a boundary, they don't want you to have, follow and like girls' pictures, and they've spoken that to you and you don't agree with it, then you have a decision to make, and so do they.
Are there naked women on Instagram? There's practically naked, like I myself. Not that I'm trying to draw attention.
More on Twitter, I think, than Instagram.
More
but
on
yeah.
Twitter than Instagram. I don't know about Facebook because I'm hardly ever there. But like I have something sheer on, but you can see everything, and that I see that a lot, whether it's the butt or the titties.
The booty or the titters.
And the clown icon says, I don't recommend theater dates because I once invited a coworker and then I had to pay for tickets for me, her, and her friend that wasn't invited. Asked out another coworker and she told me last minute she had to go. But anyway, yeah. So maybe theater dates aren't the best option. I like watching a movie. Maybe it's better for like the second or third date when I know we can watch a movie and then fool around. Maybe
I also am a firm believer in being very clear about asking someone out. Not only is a great show of confidence, if you get rejected, you know that it's just not going to work, and the intentions are just there immediately. So if you're asking someone out on a date, make sure that you say, "Hey, I'd like to take you out on a date." Like, be very clear that you're not just coworkers going to a movie together.
I'm oblivious as hell. If you don't,
I am too. I will just think we're buddies.
Even if you're friendly flirting with me and you're like, hey, would you like to go out with me on Wednesday? Like if you have to make it, I'm pretty dumb. You have to be kind of direct with me.
I need to know your intentions.
And if I don't want to go on a date with you, I will be very nice. It's fine. I'm flattered.
Yeah.
But I won't be upset. I mean, it's nice. It's good to be clear with your intentions.
Yep.
Like I think that's another problem.
And I'm not saying that's what happened to you. You may have been clear with her and she just took advantage. That's very possible too. But it made me think of that. That's all.
No, and I think that a lot of men, or I shouldn't say just men, I think a lot of people are nervous to tell somebody, hey, I like you. I just want to hang out. We're not in a monogamous relationship. I'm not looking for that. I just want to hang out, maybe have some sex and that kind of. That's fine, and maybe the person you're asking that of will say no, but you'd be surprised how many people will say yes. And then when that person does say yes, they know to curb their emotions and their expectations because you've been clear with them. Like, I'm not looking for something. This is what I'm looking for and what I'm not looking for. So that's. You don't have to say that.
Get more of what you want when you ask for what you want clearly.
You don't have to say that while asking them on the first date. That's a little much, but it comes up naturally. It comes up naturally.
Yeah. All right. What's the next question? Do we have? I think I'm done with the relationship questions. Good.
Well, good, because this question is: what do you think of Al Pacino's new baby?
Congratulations, Al Pacino.
Congratulations. So I actually looked into it again. I'm like, he had a baby? Sigh had a child.
Scion. Oh, she's super young.
She's 29, so she's got a fully formed frontal lobe. She used to date Mick Jagger, apparently. I mean, I think celebrity lives, and there was a question I skipped that was about
did somebody ask it last time they said? Oh, maybe.
No. We got asked about Robert De Niro's baby last time.
Oh, wow, that's funny.
And then somebody did ask us about Natalie Portman. Apparently, I don't want to, because apparently her husband. I don't care about people's personal lives. I think it's unfortunate that people get hurt and bonds are broken, but I don't like getting into. There's so much we don't know, and I don't. I try my best not to pass judgment on people I don't know. So that's
I agree. I mean, I think it can be a little suspect or ick if like a man is a serial like dater of the young. Like what is
like
why?
Leo.
Yeah, that gives me like a little ooh. Perhaps
Again,
he
I don't know him. It's just an image
I
thing,
don't
maybe.
know him
I don't know.
either.
I
It
don't
could be an
know
image thing.
him.
Maybe he has dated women who are older, but not publicly. I don't friggin' know. I don't know if he's pursuing other women who are older. There's a lot that gets out to the media that's spun a certain way to like get headlines, and that happens for them more often than not, I'm sure. I don't know them enough. I know when I get an ick for someone, but it's usually not because of a headline. It's usually a combination of things I've noticed about that person or
I
like
do
their
think it's an
interviews
ick.
and the way that they talk about things. And that will give me an ick about somebody. And that might be something that seals the deal when I find out they got a 19-year-old pregnant who was a big fan of theirs.
UVA, I get the ick when anybody that is especially above the age of 30 is dating somebody that doesn't have a fully formed brain yet. So like 25 plus. But then again, who am I to say? As long as everyone's consensual, like Al Pacino's not, I don't know if he's gotten some senility or not. I don't know. I have no idea. As long as he's in clear head and she's making the choice she wants, I don't care if it's a deal. I don't care if they're in love. I think as long as everyone's healthy and happy, that's all. I hope for them.
Have you ever fallen asleep in a theater? No, but I have fallen asleep at a
Once,
laser show.
how did you fall asleep at? Was it
It was like a
because you were at a laser show?
Metallica laser show, and they had the seats that recline, and they like show at midnight, and
Um,
I was just a kid, and I was tired, and I fell asleep. But that's it. I otherwise no, I fall asleep during movies at home, like, but not in a theater. No.
once in the theater, and it was because I had the flu really badly. This was a long time ago, like in my early 20s, and they're like, "Oh, let's go see the fountain." I'm like,
Oh,
they're
I
like,
would
"Oh,
fall
you're too
asleep
sick."
watching that theater too.
No, it was not the movie. It was not the movie, but I was really sick. Like I could hardly
Mhm.
sit up. And I'm like, I can go to the movie. I always could go to the movie, and I fell asleep during most of it. So there you go. I would Nowadays I'd be smarter enough not to go out in public that sick and spread my illness, but I was stubborn. So only once, and
Yeah,
that was because I had the flu.
good question. I like that one. That's a
We
fun
are
one.
going to get more specific movie questions. They're just a little bit up on the list. I'm going in order. Here's a quick question. Your first crush. My first crush ever for
Hmm.
realsies was David Bowie as Jareth, the Goblin King. And then my first crush on a real person was, we were in gym class and he was a grade ahead of me and I had a huge crush on him and he wanted nothing to do with me, which that's the way it goes sometimes, you know?
I think my first crush was Jonathan Taylor Thomas or Sebastian
JTT,
from Neverending Story 2.
not the
Um,
crab. Oh,
Not the crab. I do love Under the Sea quite a lot, though. No, Sebastian from you know what I'm talking about, right?
no, yeah, I
Actually,
know.
the kid in Evil Dead Rise looked just like him to me. Like they
Yeah, I see it.
uncannily look the same. But yeah, I had a big crush on him. And then Devon Sawa for sure. I don't know which one came first. That's why I'm just listing them all. And then I had a crush. My first crush at school was a boy named Tommy. And I don't remember anything about him except for he always had a runny nose, and I had a lot of fun playing with him at recess. And I would beat him up. So that's what I remember.
Oh, the last matinee is a great one. That was fun. I
What
liked
was
it,
that?
especially. I like eyeball stuff. Let's just say that. It's in movies, okay.
Hmm.
The clown icon was saying the last. Have you've seen the last matinee, right?
Oh, all of your letterbox logs just came in
Mine.
on Discord. I was like, badoop, badoop, badoop. I'm like, geez, who's blowing up our
Fantastic.
Discord?
Everyone can see that I watched Trauma today.
You watched Raising Cane, Trauma, Bubble Bath,
I
The
watched
Canyon,
I watched
The
Raising
Cramps
Cane
live at Napa State Mental
yesterday.
Hospital.
I didn't. I watched The Cramps and Raising Cane yesterday, so that thing
Well,
is
the
way
bot just
behind.
caught up.
Well, I'm disappointed in the bot. Okay, so
Hmm.
I wish I
I,
mixed these up. I should write them up differently so we can have the movie and other questions kind
it's
of
okay. I like it like
mixed.
this. I think it's flowing just fine.
All right,
I think you're in your head about this. It's fine.
all right. Did your first love like horror too? I think it means as well. Oh, they mean as well, not it.
I have no clue what Tommy liked. I just beat him up and thought he was cute.
No, your first
Um,
love.
oh, love. No, probably not. He probably liked 8 Mile. I
That
don't know
was
if I
really big
really
when we were in high school. That was
it
huge.
was. Yeah, that's probably it.
So this will come as a surprise to nobody. Um, my first love was a film student.
That is perfect. I love it.
No,
I love that for you.
I'm actually gonna elaborate on it a little bit. So he loved all film. Like he wasn't.
Did you guys film bro together?
Yes, I wasn't even a film student. He was. So okay, so he was 2 years older than me. And it was my freshman year in college. But he had gone to a 2-year school specifically for film and photography that shut down. I can't remember if it was unaccredited initially or became unaccredited when it shut down, but he was trying to get credits for certain classes, but he had to start production one all over again. So he was in production one. So before I started dating him, because I was friends with all the film students, right? Not all of them, but a lot of them. He had a nickname. Even before I started going out with him, he had a nickname, and his nickname was Mr. Sun. And let me tell you why. Because hey, I think I have a type. Okay.
Did he wear a fedora?
No.
Oh.
No. He had nice
Sandals and
hair,
khakis.
though. Not
Flip
sandals.
flops
No.
and khakis.
No, Converse and like those green army pants, whatever. Like they're green,
cargo
but
pants.
they're not cargo though. They don't have the pocket.
Mm.
It's like that army green without the pockets. Anyway, so he really was missing this old school, and I was told this by another film student friend of mine about the day he got his nickname in production one class. So, in production one, you're learning the basic formula, right, of how a film is shot and made to get the most basic, things are well lit, things are going to work out in time, everyone's going to understand what's happening. They're not talking about creative techniques, right? And the production one professor, who I know as well, he was telling the class, not at that time though, he was telling the class how you don't angle the camera in a certain way so you don't get lens flare. And my first love, well, actually, I don't know if he said, well, actually, there's a lot of examples of lens flare being used in film. One of them being The Princess Bride. And he went on it, and then the teacher went off on him. He's like, you think you know everything? It was like this whole thing. And so everything. So it's the combination of, well, he felt bad. He didn't want to seem like a pretentious. He's like, like he was like me. He doesn't want to seem pretentious. He doesn't want to act like he knows more than others, but he can't help himself. So he was a very
well. I mean, he's got a creative mind. It sounds like where you want to embrace some of the
I
weird
was crazy
and film.
about him. So crazy about him.
I would
Mr.
be too.
Sun. And so Mr. Sun is because of the lens flare thing, and also the earth revolves around the sun. So he did not love his nickname, but I guess I have a type.
That's funny.
No surprise to anyone. So he did like horror, but it wasn't like his favorite or not his favorite. There you go. Long answer, but I think that just felt like so accurately me.
I have time
just had
for
to
one
share.
more question, Emma, and then
Oh,
I
no.
gotta
Oh, my-
skedaddle.
What? There's okay. Let me find a good horror question. If I knew that, I would have gone straight up to the the movie question.
It's okay.
Oh,
These
that's okay,
questions are
okay.
fun. People like to hear them too. Right,
All
guys?
right.
You like to hear them. You don't care. Movies, not movies. We talk
Okay,
about
so-
everything anyways.
So somebody wants to see. So do you want to go through our letterbox stats or okay, or a film question that is which movie would you like to see be made into a continuous series? Or the last 3 celebrities on your phone picks are your desert island people, no cheating. We will answer these questions later, the ones we don't answer.
Cabin in the Woods. I want that to be a TV series so bad. Or 13 Ghosts, I think would be a really good TV series.
That's my answer. I'm not a TV series gal, but 13 Ghosts I think could really work.
Literally though, anything that Mike Flanagan wants to do, I'm fine. I'm happy.
Yeah, obviously.
I think that Cabin in the Woods and 13 Ghosts have a lot of potential for being really fun series. Like Chucky series is fun, but also dark. So I think that there's a lot that can be explored in a prequel of Cabin in the Woods, and maybe more of I would write like a post 13 Ghosts series. I know a lot of people talk about like them catching the 13 ghosts and like their histories, but we know about those already. So I would like to see them. I would like to see them going in like teams that are actually continuing to try to capture ghosts or help ghosts get put somewhere back because they're dangerous. I think that would be cool. So
Sun was the sun, not the sun as in the child. The sun in the sky.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil series would be really cool too. I like that idea. What was the other question? I really liked the other question you asked at the end there.
Last 3 celebs on your phone picks are your desert island people, no cheating. I don't know. Oh
last
my God,
3 celebs on my phone picks? Oh. I don't even know, to be honest.
I don't know. I'm terrified, but I will. Okay, so I'm not cheating.
I'm not cheating either. Let me see.
Oh my God. Oh my God, no.
Okay, the first one I'm seeing is Brad Pitt and Edward Norton because I screenshotted.
Help me. Somebody
Fight
help
Club.
me. Somebody help me, please.
Oh wait, who's that? I don't
Please help me. I don't want to be on a desert island.
Oh, Keanu Reeves, and then what's his face from Slither?
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah. How many were we supposed to list?
3.
Not Nathan Fillion. Not Nathan Fillion. Well, I think Brad and Edward came together on one, so I was going with 2 more. So Keanu Reeves, Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, and what's that guy's name from?
I'll let you guys know who this is in a bit. You can't see.
This guy.
I can hardly see that. Like it's somebody
the guy
without
that's in
hair.
Walking Dead also, who plays Merle.
Oh yes, I never remember that.
He's in like all of
in
all of James Gunn's films. Yeah, him.
He's great, and he was Henry in Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. Great in that.
I'm with a lot of guys.
This is from because of my TikTok yesterday. So first desert island person is Bret Easton Ellis. Fantastic. And then we got Rob Schrader, who wrote Raging Bull and Taxi Driver. Great. We're talking about the canyons, I guess. He also directed and wrote The First Reform. What was the one with the cards? Anyway, and The First Gigolo with Richard Gere and his beady little eyes. And then I don't know if Bobby Hill counts from King of the Hill. He's like, that's when he's the Wonder Dog. So no, okay.
No, I'm real people. You're not bringing animated characters.
Lindsay Lohan, again, the Canyons TikTok I made. And then the first person, let's see.
Michael Rooker,
it's
thank you. Yes.
myself.
Michael Rooker.
So just so you see, I'm not scrolling. See, that's Lindsay Lohan. This is
You are so brave. I could never do that on my phone.
you see, that's the thing is, if I have any nudes, it's going in the hidden pictures of
Oh, I don't have
myself.
that. I don't have that. I never
actually
delete anything
don't.
on my phone. My phone
I
is a
do.
treasure trove if somebody stole it. Like,
So these are the saws that they're like those, they're like really old barn saws. This is something, the frame within a frame, which is an interesting article on Shot Deck I have not read but I want to read. That's myself.
We need
I'm
celebrities here, Emma. Come on.
I am so afraid who it might be. I'm already stuck with Bret Easton Ellis. I actually don't know. That is a video game character. That is not a person
No, it doesn't
that
count.
my brother likes. Doesn't count. Please be nice to me. Tawny Katane. There we go. Tawny Katane. I can't really see because. Okay. So, Bret Easton Ellis, Lindsay Lohan. Cool, man. Rob Schneider, and Tawny Katane.
Wow. My island is way cooler.
Yeah, well, I am.
Although Brad Pitt, I hear it would be a total jerk. So.
Probably not as jerky as Bret freaking.
I think Keanu Reeves would whoop his ass, so we'd be okay.
I don't like my desert. Hey, Rob Schneider can stay. Lindsay Lohan can stay. And Tawny Katane. I don't. Bret Easton Ellis has interesting conversations, but he's gonna get on my nerves. I'm gonna hit him over the head with a coconut, not to kill him, but he'll fall asleep for a while.
But maybe to kill him and eat him, if it comes to that.
If it comes to that, it's Bret's the one that's gonna go. Sorry, Bret. I liked American
I bet your
Psycho.
ham hocks are tasty. All right, you guys, I have to go. And that was the perfect note to end on because I love to talk about cannibalism.
You are an unintentional cannibal after all.
So thank you guys for joining us. Are you going to stay on, Emma? Or am I just going? I don't know.
No, I like to have a partner unless I'm going in prepared to be on my own. And Optimist says it's Jeremy Davies, Madeline Kahn, great, and Bryan Cranston. Everyone's island's better than mine. At least Schreiber seems like a cool dude and very interesting and knows a lot about the film industry.
I have a huge crush on Liev Schreiber. Who said Liev Schreiber?
Did I? No, I said Rob Schneider.
Oh. Liev
Schreiber. No.
Liev can come to my island anytime. Ooh, Bilbo Baggins? Wait, as in my favorite man, Martin Freeman? I would love Martin Freeman on my island, or like the older Bilbo from The Hobbit.
Look, I actually did a deep dive for myself. I'm not gonna make a TikTok review or anything. I did a deep dive.
Boring. I'd rather have the young Bilbo. Martin Freeman all day long. He's so funny.
It's not Rob Schneider. It's Rob Schneider.
You can do it.
It's not Rob Schneider. No, it's the guy that wrote Taxi Driver and Raging Bull. And he directed American
I just watched
Gigolo.
a video about that.
Yeah, that's why those pictures are on there. I made that video.
That's why my pictures are on there. I made video.
And Lindsay and I can chill and everything, and Bret probably be fine. It's a Canyons reunion, everybody, and me. And I do know that Rob it's not Rob Schneider. No.
I would not last on an island with Rob Schneider. No offense to Rob Schneider, because what he does is wonderful and he does it wonderfully. But I would not be happy on an island with him at all. That's not the type of energy I want to be with.
So, Schreider and I could talk about movies and stuff, and and I know that he is a fan of Lindsay. He said in the most polite way, the difficult thing about shooting this film is that she was unreliable, but I think she's got a lot of charisma And so I think, Rob and Lindsay and I are going to hang out just fine. And Tawny, of course. It's nice that she didn't actually die. She did die. But it'd be great. It should be fun, I think we'd have fun talking about movies and just
So,
hanging out. You gotta
yeah,
go. I know.
I do gotta go. Sorry.
I
I
have
love
a
you
lot
guys.
of. Well,
These
that's
are always
cool.
fun.
So
I
real
love
quick,
doing
I
it.
can't do next week because I'm going to be seeing my grandmother.
Oh yeah, that's fine. So we're taking a week off next week, y'all. When's next Misty night?
Misty
Is
night
it this
is
Saturday?
the week. No. It's the week after I get back. So after next week, I haven't done an actual day. It's gonna be clearly by the votes. It's going to
Make
be either Saturday or Sunday night.
make sure you guys are in our Discord, checking it out. We'll do a Misty night, and you'll be able to catch that with Emma. So join our Discord. Links are in the links if you're wherever you're watching us.
And if your question wasn't asked, we'll get to it on our next
we
live.
will.
I'm
She
gonna
keeps
keep
them. She keeps them. We'll ask them forever. So be
Actually, I
embarrassed.
delete them so they don't get lost. I delete them after they've been asked. So
That's a good idea. Thank y'all.
thank you all. We always appreciate it.
Love our heads of lettuce. I cannot wait to get back on our regular scheduled programming, but I'm also really enjoying this break, you guys. I think we needed it.
I miss it. I
miss it too,
Why
but
else
like
would I be on TikTok? But again, we don't want to.
these are fun too. They're way
a
less
lot of fun.
like.
I think
we need to give ourselves some grace sometimes.
Well, the thing is, we do this for fun, and it's very nice that we have such a great group of people that are having fun along with us, and that's fantastic. But we never want it to feel like a chore or a job, and some nights it will, because sometimes we're not on our best. But I mean, Crystal just really needs some time right now, and she's fine. But she needs to we don't want to hassle her when she's got other stuff to do. So that's it.
And I'm actually enjoying the time by proxy, so I'm happy to give her as much time as she needs.
Meanwhile, I'm like a nerd. I'm like, I just sent you the serial killer episode. I just sent you the
I know, I
serial
need
killer
to edit. I'll start
and
editing.
you do not. No, you don't. I'm just saying, like, I'm just the nerd that's like, and I've started our top 3, and it's already a feature.
Emma is our hardest working podcaster right now.
That's not true. The thing is that I have more time because I'm not taking a class. So I'm taking advantage of it because eventually I'll have less time. So I'm just keeping myself ahead of the curve.
Okay, bye guys. I love you.
Okay, bye. It's hard for me to stop talking.